Hey guys, welcome back to Starry Sisters Creations. So today I'm working on a couple commissions. So first one I'm starting with is a little bee in a sweater. I have probably, I want to say I have like 5 or 6 commissions at this moment. Most of them, there are some that I don't need to have done for months. It's a commission for my mother's wedding actually. So I don't have to have that one done for a little while, but I do plan on trying to get it done this month. I do have some gifts I have to make for my latest nephew that will be arriving, so I need to make those first before I finish the commission for her wedding in the future. But I do have other commissions I have to finish first, so that is what I'm working on now. So right now I just have the little feet for the bee. I am also playing a dangerous game because the yellow that I need for this project, I only have this much. So I'm gonna see if I will win or lose yarn chicken. So we will see. There's not a whole bunch of yellow. The head is mainly yellow, and like there's of course the striped parts of the bee. So I'm hoping it's not too much yellow because a lot of it gets taken away because of the sweater. So it might be just enough yellow. So that's the plan. The pattern that I'm using is Bonnie the Bee. And, I have it on highlight mode because I highlight when I do it and I cross off. Helps me keep my spot. And it is made by Little Forest Makes. She makes really cute patterns. I have all of the sweater insects and they are really cute. I have 2 other ones that one sold and the other one I still have. I actually have it at work, which is how this commission came to be. One of my coworkers saw it and really wanted a custom bee in a sweater for her daughter. I love gifts like that. So that is what this custom is, and I'm super excited to show you guys the final result. But I'm going to get back to crocheting. I'll do a couple little sped up parts, but I don't want you guys to be sitting here for too long of the sped up part, so I will stop and maybe talk about certain aspects of it. But I'm going to get started on this. See you in a bit. Alright, I wanted to stop here and show you how I do my color changes. I think I might have mentioned it in a previous video, but I cannot remember. So I'm going to show it to you anyway. So this next stitch is where my color change starts at this next one. So what I do is I do it before the starting stitch. So I'm going to do a normal single crochet in this one. And then I have my 2 loops on my hook. And I'm going to grab my yellow, because this is the color I'm color changing to. And I just take it, pull it through both those loops, and then I pull it tight here. And then the start of my next row is a single crochet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first move my stitch marker. So I'm going to take that, put it on the yellow. I just want to make sure that this is staying tight because you don't want it to be all loosey-goosey. So I'm going to adjust this for a second. Make sure that's tight, and then I'm going to do my single crochet into the next stitch. And then I pulled this yarn a little bit tighter just so that it's in there nice and tight. And then I sometimes I'll tie off right after the first stitch. Most of the time though, I like to do a couple stitches just so that it's more cemented in there and I'm not like pulling it too tight, so I can adjust it before I tie off. But then I'm gonna just tie these two together with a couple of knots. Typically I do like 2 to 3 knots and cut off the excess of the previous color. And then I like to burn on my ends, mainly because I use like the Chanel yarn and it's fluffy. So just burn the ends off. And then I tuck that into the project. And I'm on my next part with my color change. So here is the bee so far with his little purple sweater. I love the colors. I think this is gonna be so cute when it's finished. But I'm gonna continue right now. All I have left of like the main base, because the arms are done separately and then they're sewn on. So I just have the head left. And then I have the arms that need to be made and sewn on, the little antennas that go on the head, and the wings on the back, and then any detailing that I want to do to my sweater. So I'm going to continue with where I'm at on this part, and I will see you guys when I am finished with the head. Just realized the lighting is probably shifting too much because the sun is going down. I need to find my like ring light so I can have better lighting in my face, because like I only have the headlight right now and then my lights right here. So I need to find my ring light. So I do apologize if the lighting is bad at this portion or towards the end. But right now I'm just adding the eyes. These ones I believe are 14 millimeter, 14 or 16. I have to double check. I think these ones are 14 or 15 millimeter eyes, but I need to find my tool. So I have a couple different types of tools that I use to put the safety size on. Some of the smaller ones, I don't need tools. I can just push them down by myself. So these eyes need to go in between rounds 20 and 21, roughly. Or 20 and 21, roughly about 8 stitches in between. So this is round 22, so 22, 21, 20. So it will be going, so this is 22, 21, 20. So in between 21 and 20. And then I'm trying to center them the best I can. I'll adjust as well, because as you can tell, this one's a little too off center. But I just want to figure out roughly where my eyes are going to go. And then I do the count. So the stitches in between is going to be the stitches visible that you see in between. So it's personal preference sometimes on like how far you want them. This one, like I said, it says about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I have 8 stitches in between them now. And I just realized this is something else you want to double check. I was about to put this on the back of the plushie. So always double check where you're adding them. So now I just gotta move them to the proper side of the body. That way I'm not putting them in the wrong spot. Technically this pattern doesn't have a front or a back. You can use either one if you really wanted to, but for me, you can kind of see the step up a bit with where I color changed. So I want that on the back. The wings are gonna come down and you won't really be able to see it when the wings are down. And then like the color change is here on the side, and this sweater actually has like a cuff that goes around it, so you won't see that when I attach the cuff too. So there are some things you can do to hide it, or sometimes I'll go back in and I'll add a couple extra stitches so that it's not as noticeable. These aren't as bad steps as like some can be. If you color change in certain spots, you can have like a kind of more visible difference to where you're attaching it. So you just want to make sure that that's not happening. I just have to shift these eyes slightly over because they are not centered. So I always take a little bit of extra time because I have, if I'm rushing, I have put the eyes in the wrong spot before, like put the backs on and everything. So I want to make sure, sorry, there's a bird that flew on my bird feeder. I just want to make sure the eyes are in a place that I like. I think these ones look good. So these are the little backs. Just place them over. Like I said, some of them I can actually do with my nails, so I don't actually need my eye tool, but I do have a couple different eye tools. This one is the Craft Easy tool. These are like the prototype original versions. They work really well, so I actually still have these, but I can do these backs with my nails, or if I really want to, you just take, it has like a spongy part, and then it has a part that has like a little hole in it, and you just take this part here and hold it down and it'll clip it into place, and it kind of saves your hands from struggling with it. I definitely need it with like the sinker safety eyes. I have another tool that I use for that as well, because like it hurts my hands because sometimes it's hard to put them down, and then there are certain sizes that it's hard to put down. So then the eyes and the backs are on, and then I always test to make sure they're in place. I'll stick like my nails behind them and I'll pull up on them. I'll pull on the fronts. Now something I do recommend is like if I'm at a market and whenever I sell something that has hard eyes, one, I make sure like if it's going to a kid, I always ask age-wise, but I also have tags that I attach to all my plushies when I'm at a market, or if someone's doing a custom, I let them know in advance that I can do embroidered eyes, or if it does have hard eyes, that kids under the age of 3 should not be left alone with them, just in case for some reason they get them off. Now I do a lot to make sure my eyes are on there, but you never know, and I want to make sure that the people that are purchasing it are aware. And I personally feel more comfortable if I let them know ahead of time, and it's just safety reasons. Like I can always take these eyes off if I really need to. If someone really wants a plushie and but it's for a younger person, I can always crochet, or I can embroider the eyes on, or I can make them a custom one with embroidered eyes. And I'm not going to charge them more. It would be the same price as the plushie would be normally. It's just going to be a custom one, so that's safe for that child. That's just something that I like to do. But for my end, for the backs of mine, I burn the ends of them a little bit and I push them down. Now I do it slowly, but this just makes it a little bit more secure on the back end as well. You want to make sure that you're not burning the like disc that goes around it though. But I saw this method and it makes me feel more comfortable, and once I've done this, I had one that I could feel like the inside of the thing broke off. I did end up undoing it and redoing it, but the eyes didn't move because I did this, because it flattens it, so it can't go backwards because there's more of a lip, because there's tiny little ledges on this, but if it breaks, there's still a chance that it can go past those ledges because they're not that big. So this is just something that makes me feel more comfortable with it. Like I said, I just flatten it with the edge of my lighter. Now, if you're younger, you should be doing this under supervision of a parent. and getting permission to do this before you do that, if you are a younger person who is crocheting and trying to use that method. So now my eyes are attached, nice and sound. And then all I gotta do is do the top little dome of the bee. And I'm actually really excited because I'm not using losing yarn chicken, which is what I thought was gonna happen originally, but I still have a good amount left. So I was correct in thinking there wasn't as much yellow in this as I originally anticipated. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm gonna finish this and then I will be back once I am done. I'm back. So it's been a couple of days. I had some other things I had to accomplish, so I couldn't actually work on this yesterday, and I got my hair done, so my new hair. So as of right now, I have a little bee, the sweater cuff ready. I have all the arms. He has 4 little arms. It's so cute. And then I am working on the wings. And then I also have there little antennas. So I have those as well. So all of these will be sewn on. That's why there's so many strings. So I have those left to do. I just have to make the wings. I should be able to get the wings done in the next like 30 to 40 minutes. And then I just have to sew everything together and do the embroidery. So I have the embroidery of the wings itself to do the little lines that are on it. And then I'm making an S for the girl's name. It starts with an S. And so she wanted an S on the front of the sweater. And then I'm going to see if I can do like a little flower or something. I'm not 100% sure for that other part. But this is what I'm working on now. And I will be back in a few when I finish the wings and start sewing it all together. I hope this is back roughly where it was at, because I kind of knocked my my stand over. Anyway, I finished the little wings. So they are now done. So now I just have to sew all the parts together and then add the final touches. So I'm going to start doing that now. Trying to figure out which thing I want to start with. I'll probably do, I'm going to do the collar first. And then arms, antenna, and then wings. So how I sew them on, this is a Donny needle. Have I said that right? So with this one, you're just gonna thread it. And for the sweater here, I have 2 tails. This tail, I'm going to do a couple stitches, so I'm going to stitch underneath, like where they meet. Stitch it down, pull through, and then I'm going to do a couple stitches. I won't do too many because this one's not as long, but then this way this is also secured in it as well, and I'll have to worry about the yarn moving later. So sometimes when it's shorter, it'll pop off of the hook like that, and then you just have to restrain it. It's no big deal. But once I do a couple stitches, I'm just going to bring this up to a tie-off point. So I'm just going to take it to where my yellow is left over from closing and put it there for now. And I'm going to take the longer piece. Now sometimes I do a little bit too long. I personally would rather have too much than too little. I have my top drawer on the stand that I have next to me. I have all of my yarn that's long enough to add details, or I might even make like a scrappy plushie with some of the yarn and just do a bunch of color changes. It depends on what I need it for. So sometimes I'll have some extra for that. But so this one, it's at the top here and I don't want to sew the top down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just stitch through this part here to bring it down into this, and then I'll just stitch these down to give it like the collar effect. So I gotta take this through the body, or through the down and through, because I still want it to be able to bend like that. I want it stitched down funny, and then I just have to go. That's what I did to myself. You want to make sure that you have enough length that you can like keep stitching and not pull it through every time. So now I'm just going to stitch around, and I'll be back once I have it all stitched down. Alright, so now the little collar is sewn on. So you can like fold it down if you want. I kind of like kind of up a little bit, and then when I always add like a little smirk to a majority of my plushies. So this is gonna have a little smirk and it'll be partially hiding under there. I'm excited. But I'm gonna sew on the arms and everything else, and then I'll come back. So the bee is done, minus the details. So I had the little arms, and then the wings, and the antennas. Now I just need to add, I like to do like whites and then like little eyelashes. So I'm going to add those, the mouth, and then I need to add the S, and then I'm going to see about maybe doing some flower or leaf details on it as well. And then I need to do the little lines on the wings. But first I'm going to show you how I'm going to do my S. So with this one, I gotta find the right hook first. I need my 3.5. So my 3.5 millimeter hook. What I've been using the rest of the time, it's actually one of my favorite hooks, made by my friend Haley. So it's a see if you can see it. It's a 4.5 millimeter hook, and it's the Galaxy. It's custom made. Love this hook. It feels the best in my hand. And I use this hook pretty much for a majority of my plushies. Anything that I use the Premier yarn, and there's a couple other yarn sizes that I use that hook with as well. But for this one, it's skinnier, and I'm just going to do a chain stitch. And I want to make sure I'm leaving a decent tail so that I can sew that into the body as well and tack it down nicely. But I'm just going to chain until I feel like it's long enough, and then I'm going to do a rough S holding it up to see if it will work. Might actually need to go down a hook size because I want it to be nice and tight. I'm just chaining, which I lost count, so I don't even know how many I'm at. But essentially what I'm doing is I want to see if it's long enough for me to form it into an S, which I think this is pretty much the perfect length. I'm going to add one more. And then the front one for my scissors. Make sure I leave a long enough tail to sew it. It's probably a bit too long, but I would rather have a little bit too much than not enough when it comes to stuff like that. So I just have a chain. And for this part, I'm going to take the base. I'm going to roughly see how I want it to lay out first. Might actually be a bit too long. Yeah, it's actually a bit too long. So the nice part with that, even though I closed it off, I can always take out this slip stitch. Just takes me a second. But I can take out the slip stitch and I can go back a couple stitches in the chain. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just have to get there it goes. Slip stitch out. Go back some stitches. Test it again. I'll make sure I don't take out too many, but it was a little bit too long for the S shape that I want. So that looks good. So I'm going to go back in real quick with my hook, and I'm going to do a slip stitch to close it again, pull it tight. So I just shortened it slightly. Now just got to see how I want to do this. So I'm going to stitch the front of the S down first. And I just want to make sure it's going to go the way I want. I could always pin it in place, but I don't have access to like my pins right now. And I don't feel like trying to dig those out of the closet. So I do have these. I think they're technically for like curlers, but I use them to help me hold little arms and items in place when I'm sewing smaller parts on instead of using amigurumi sticks. And right now it's going to help me keep my S where I want it as I stitch stuff down, just so that the shape I want is being kept through the process. Just need one more. What I'm grabbing from, I have this little like 3-tiered rolly cart on the side. It really needs reorganized, but it's where I keep all my hooks, majority of my tools, scissors, things like that. So I'll show you guys what I keep in there after I reorganize it. But right now what I did was I put those in place. It's going to be backwards on here to hold the S shape more. That's a little bit morphed because of that, but it's roughly what it's going to be. I'm going to stitch a couple stitches down, just because with the top, or with the first string to hold it in place, because this one's shorter. But And I'm going to start at the bottom and go back up. So here's the final S. I actually really like how it turned out. It's going to look funny flipped on there, but I actually think it looks really good. So the little face is done. It has a little smirk, the eyelashes, the little whites. I just have to do the back stitches, and I'm trying to figure out if I like this flower enough to attach it, or if I'm going to do something else flower wise. I don't know if I like the look of that just yet. So I'm going to play around with a couple options and test those out. Tomorrow is very late, so I need to go to bed and then finish this tomorrow morning. I won't put the nail there. Finish this tomorrow morning so I can give it to my coworker at work tomorrow. Alright, so it is completed. So I have these little flowers on the side, little S. I think it turned out so cute. I might, if I have time, I won't be able to film this part because I'll have to do it at work before I give it to her, but I might add 2 more flowers on this side. But this is what it looks like. And there's the back with the little wing details. Absolutely love it. I will be posting pictures of it completed either like this, or if I do end up adding the extra flowers, I will take a picture and I'll post those as well. So if you want to see the final pictures, they will be up on my Instagram. But this is the little bee in the sweater commission. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the video. I'll be coming back soon with some more commissions, and then I'm also going to be doing some pattern creating or pattern testing as well. Keep an eye out for those videos as well. And then I also plan on doing some tutorial videos on some of my free patterns. So I'll have those coming out hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Really just depends. I have a lot of stuff going on in the next few weeks, but hopefully within the next month and a half, I'll have those free pattern tutorials out as well. But yeah, here's the little bee, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!